Welcome back for video 2 of our 4-part series of More Purpose, Less Perfection. We will continue building on what we've already worked on from video 1. And again, we have Cami and Emily, and I am Dawn, all here to help you discover some various tools that yoga can bring to you in your life to support you in growth, in understanding how to bring clarity, in allowing yourself to let go of things in your life that you might feel like you can't let go of, that you're kind of stuck with. For your yoga practice, you'll need your mat. You'll need blocks or books. It can be either one. You'll need some blankets and maybe a pillow. And as we move through our practice today, we'll be focusing on accepting impermanence, letting go of things that we think we need to hold on to. But as we give ourselves the chance to let go, we give ourselves the chance to grow, to explore, to learn, to shift. And if we don't give ourselves that chance, then we stay stagnant. So this is an opportunity to open up and discover. So let's come down to a comfortable seat, and that seat can look any way you need it to. And that seat could be sitting on a bolster or a pillow, it could be on a blanket, it could be sitting on blocks. The purpose of your seat is to be able to sit tall and center. Okay? So with this idea of accepting impermanence and letting go, I have a quote that I really like from a 6th century philosopher. No man ever steps into the same river twice, for it's not the same river and he is not the same man. So every moment of our life is different. And as we not just let go of the past, but we take what we have learned from the past to build on what we're going to take into the future, this is an opportunity to see the beauty of what's right here, right now. Okay? So as you sit tall, let shoulder blades draw onto your back. Let your eyes close if that's comfortable. You can always keep your eyes open. And let your hands rest. Now as you start to take your breath, remember back to the first video when we focused on a 3-part breath, and start to notice an inhale into your belly, your ribs, your chest. An exhale back through chest, ribs, and belly. As you inhale and expand belly, ribs, chest, you grow longer. As you exhale through chest, ribs, belly, you root and ground. Take 3 more breaths at your own pace with your own breath. Softly allow your eyes to open if they're closed. And take fingertips to the floor just beside your hips and feel the ground. Press into the ground, and as you press into the ground, lift up through your heart space. Shoulder blades draw onto your back again because they love to come off of your back. So as you take a big breath here, again, you're letting your whole body expand on the inhale. You're letting yourself ground on the exhale. Good. Now taking your left hand across to your right knee. Press into your knee, press your fingertips down behind you and lift your ribs up even higher. Take a full inhale, big expansion. Exhale from your low ribs, twist just a little bit more. Good. As you inhale, come back into center. As you exhale, reaching your right hand across to your left knee, left fingertips to the floor, press down, and from that press, lift up high. As you exhale from your low ribs, twist just a little more. Great. Inhale, come back into center. And then shift forward onto your hands and your knees. And as you find your hands and your knees, set yourself up. Wrists are stacked under shoulders, knees under hips. You're welcome to have a blanket underneath your knees for a little support if you would like to. But look down and notice 4 corners of your palms pressing into the ground, all your fingertips pressing into the ground. And then notice your knees and toes. Give a little press into the ground so you start to feel some stability all the way up into your hips and all the way up into your shoulders. Good. As you inhale, let your belly release toward the ground, maybe a little gaze upward. Exhale, round your spine into your cat pose. Inhale, expand your belly. Exhale, expand your back. As you move through your spine, notice any of the places in your spine that maybe you have some stuck feelings, maybe some spots that grew tense during your workday, whatever it happens to be that's there, let yourself notice them. Good. Take one more this way. Wonderful. Coming back to a neutral spine as you root down through the four corners of your palms, your knees, your toes. Take a big inhale and send your heart further forward, your collarbones further forward. Good. Exhale, tone the lowest part of your belly. Inhale, reach your right leg back behind you. We'll get into a little bit of hip opening and lift your leg right up off the ground so your toes are lifting. If you need to, you can always put your toes back on the ground. Next inhale, you're turning your hip upward. Your toes will turn to the side. Exhale, hip back to even. Good. Inhale, open your hip up. Exhale, hip back to even. Good. One more time. Inhale, open up. Exhale, hip to even. Set your knee back on the ground. Inhale, reach your left leg back behind you. Lifting up with your foot. Again, you can always keep your toe on the ground if you would like. Good. Keep your belly toning, and as you inhale, lift your hip up. As you exhale, bring your hips back to even. Good. Inhaling, lifting your hip up, and exhale, hip to even. One more time. Inhale to open up. And exhale, hips back to even. Good. Set your left knee on the ground. Now we'll give our wrists a little break. So settle back into that child's pose, remembering that your child's pose is someplace that you can come to at any point in time. Your child's pose can look however you need it to today, right? Today is different from yesterday, is different from tomorrow, okay? So as you come to this place, recognize where you are right now, feelings inside, any tensions in the body, and take a big breath. Good. Now as you inhale, set yourself back up onto your hands and your knees. Find your blocks, make sure they're handy for you because we're not just going to take our low lunge, but we're also going to work into our hamstrings. Yay! It's important to say yay once in a while. So as you step your right foot forward in between your hands, you're welcome to find blocks under your hands. We're going to come to our lunge first. As you center off your hips, what I want you to notice again is where your shin is, where your knee is in comparison to your foot. So you're looking at stacking your shins straight up and down, then lift and spread your toes, fire them up, and then place them strongly into the ground, okay? Now back foot can be tucked under, or you can have your toes or your feet flat against the ground. Good, either way, but give a good press. From that press, lift your chest, lift your heart. Good. Take one more big inhale here. And exhale, you're going to bring your hands up to the highest point of your blocks, shift your hips back, turn your front leg straight. So as your hips are coming back, your front leg comes towards straight, your toes are pulling back towards your body. Good. Then your hands can come underneath your shoulders wherever you need them to be. And as you move your sitting bones back, your sitting bones get to reach toward the back of the room, your toes pull toward your face. Yeah, this lengthens the back of your legs. And then if your hamstrings are tight, you're saying, gee, thanks, Dawn. Yeah. So now notice your right sitting bone and try to move it further back. Yeah. Hooray. Inhale, bend into your front knee. Coming back into that lunge and then step back onto your hands and knees. Good. From your hands and knees, then shift your left foot forward in between your hands. And as you shift it forward, again, adjust yourself. You might shimmy your foot a little further forward or your back knee a little further back to find that stance for yourself where your shin is straight up and down, okay? From there, fire up your toes. Yep, and then press them into the ground. Good. Now fire up your back foot too. Even though it's not in the same position, fire it up, press it down. From that, extend your heart forward. Take a full breath. Good. Really nice. Now shifting to the highest point of your blocks, work your hips back and your front leg towards straight, coming into this half monkey pose. Okay, in this half monkey pose, also known as a half split, we won't do a full split today, I promise. Send your sitting bones way back. Draw your toes toward your nose. Yeah, because today I get to be Dr. Seuss. So now as you wrap your left hip back, you're creating length through your sitting bone. You're creating length into your hamstring. Take a big breath. Great. Inhale, bend into your front knee. Come back into that lunge. And then step back with both knees onto your hands and knees. From this place, set yourself up, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips, and then we'll shift our way back into a downward facing dog pose. We were here in the last video, so you all are familiar with it now. So take a moment to root through the four corners of your palms, root through all your fingertips. Now give your knees a little bend and send your sitting bones further up. Really good. Take a big breath, and as you breathe, let's take a letting go breath, letting go of those things that we don't need, okay? Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. One more time. Really good job. Right here, right now is where you're meant to be. So remind yourself of that what happened yesterday is something you get to grow from. So now as you inhale this time, push into your hands, send your sitting bones further up. As you exhale, you'll work your way forward into your forward fold, however that looks to you, okay? So you might come to your knees to do that. You might do it from your down dog. From here, soft knees, inhale, lengthen your heart part way, sending your sitting bones way back, your heart way forward. As you exhale, fold over your legs. Wonderful. Fire up your toes, press into the ground, root down, find that stability. Hands come to your hips. Press your hips back, your heart forward. Start to lift your shoulders first, then inhale, rise up. Wonderful. Hands come together at your heart. Close your eyes and for a moment feel the connection that you have with the ground in this moment right now. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale, fold. Plant fingertips. Feel free to use blocks here if you would like to. Step your right foot back into your lunge. Good. Now turn and plant your back heel so that your foot's parallel with the back of your mat. Your left elbow comes to your knee, your right hand comes to your hip, coming into your side angle pose. As you turn your belly and your heart, take a big breath, bend a little deeper into your front knee, and as you press your elbow down, send your heart further forward. Really good job. Take another big breath, move both shoulder blades onto your back. On your exhale, hands come down to the front of your mat. Tuck your back toes and step forward. Inhale, lengthen part way, knees are soft, long through your spine. Exhale, fold over your legs. Brilliant. Fingertips to the blocks or the floor. Step your left foot back into your lunge. Wonderful. Turn and plant your back heel. Bring your right elbow to your knee, left hand to your hip, rising to your side angle pose on the second side. Good. Now, as you push your elbow down, this helps you to root down through your front foot. Find that rooting, and from that, move your whole heart forward, your ribs forward. Take a big breath. Good. Both shoulder blades are on your back. And on your exhale, both hands come down to the front of your mat. Good. Tuck your back toes and step forward. Really nice. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale, fold over your legs. Beautiful. Hands to your hips. Press your hips back, your heart forward, and inhale, rise. Nice. Really nice job. So now we're going to work into two poses today. With the last video, we worked into our tree pose, and today we're going to come back to our tree pose, but we're also going to take our high version of lunge. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our high lunge so that we know where we're going with it, and then we're going to do something fun. We're going to play, we're going to explore, because that's what yoga is all about, but so is life, right? We need to find that exploration so that we can experience many, many things, okay? So as we come to our high lunge, feet are inner hip distance apart and parallel. Lift and spread your toes and then root down. We need to root. We need to be grounded for anything in life, but especially when we start to create asymmetric poses. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, part way, lift, and exhale, fold. Plant your fingertips, step your right foot back into your lunge. Good. Wonderful. Remember that you can always set your back knee on the ground if you need to, okay? And take your hands up to your knee to rise up. So both hands come to the top of your knee, and as you press into the top of your knee, you're reminding your front foot to ground. So lift and spread your front toes and push down into the ground. Good. Now press your back toes into the ground as well. This helps to lift you up even higher, rooting down to rise up. Good. If you would like, you can stretch up to the sky. You can always take gratitude arms, is what I like to call it, or you could take cactus, or you could take hands to your heart. Good. Take a big breath. And as you exhale, bring hands down to the ground. Next inhale, step forward. Exhale, switch legs. Left foot steps back into your lunge. Good. Hands come up to your knee and press. And as you press, again, use that to help you root down, find stability, and lift up with your chest. Press your toes down behind you and use both of your feet to help you root and rise up higher. Your heart lifts. Then take the variation with your arms that feels good to you. Full deep breath. Good. One more deep breath right here. And on your exhale, both hands come down to the floor or your blocks. Inhale, step forward. Lift your heart up part way. Good. Exhale, fold over your legs. Beautiful. Inhale, reach and rise, coming up however it feels good to you today. Exhale, hands come to your heart. Great. So now we're going to shift from our tree pose into our lunge. And what I want everyone to remember is that every day is different, right? So how we did yesterday in something like this is going to be different than how we do today. And we get to look at what it is today and really appreciate it, really celebrate it, okay? So we're going to step from our tree pose back into our lunge. And I want you to recognize that your tree pose can be here, it can be here, it could even be picking your foot up and setting it up high, okay? Then as we step back, you can step, bump, 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 or you can step all the way back. Ooh, see, and you might fall over. It's okay. So as you find what it is for you today, it's an exploration, okay? So find your balance onto your left foot and turn your right knee sideways. And as you turn your right knee sideways, you're starting to open up your hip. Now root down through your big toe mound on your left foot and pick your right foot up to wherever you need it to be on the side of your leg. The only place it doesn't get to rest is on your knee. So it can be up high, it can be down low, it can be a kickstand. Now push into the floor with your foot. Find that stability, lift your heart up high. Then if you'd like to, you can stretch, you can take gratitude, you can take hands to your heart. Find where it is for you, because right here is where you're meant to be, okay? So take a really big inhale, lift your heart higher. Big exhale, find tone with your low belly and your low ribs. Beautiful. Now turn your knee forward and begin to step back. Maybe baby steps, maybe one big step. Find that place where you can step back into your lunge and lift up even higher. Celebrate. Take a big full inhale. Your heart is lifted. Exhale, your hands come down to the floor. Good. Step all the way back to a down dog for just a moment and take a big breath. Really nice job. Good. Now remembering that we're also not symmetrical, right? Cami covered that on video 1. We are not symmetrical beings. So this second side is going to look different. Go ahead and find your way back to your forward fold at the front of your mat from either hands and knees or downward facing dog. Good. Beautiful, you guys. Inhale, lengthen part way. Exhale, fold over your legs. Good. Hands to your hips, push your hips way back, your heart way forward, and inhale, rise all the way up. Awesome. Okay. So now we'll find our balance onto our left foot. Is that right? Our right foot. Yeah. Sometimes yoga teachers forget. So our right foot is balancing. Pause and press into your toes. Then lift your left foot, turn your knee to the side, and as you find where it is for you on this side, remember the only place that your foot shouldn't be is resting against your knee, okay? So now as you push into your standing foot, lift your ribs, lift your heart up even higher and stretch in any way that feels good. That might even be keeping your hands at your heart. That is an okay place to be. Full, big, deep breath right here. Beautiful. Now turning your knee forward, pressing your heel back, begin to either take baby steps back or one big step back. It doesn't matter which way. Good. As you find your lunge, lift your ribs, lift your heart, and stretch. Big, full, deep breath. On your exhale, your hands come down to the front of your mat and step all the way back to a child's pose. Really nice job. From your child's pose, you really do now get to celebrate, because all those things that we just did are not easy. You worked hard, you explored, so that's a wonderful thing. As you take some big breaths, what does it look like to celebrate with your breath? Wonderful. So now go ahead and push yourself gently up to your seat. And we'll come all the way down onto our sitting bones. Bring legs to the side and extend them out. Shift your sitting bones. Move them back and broad. And now left foot, right foot comes into the side of your leg. Good. And then make your legs toned. So think about pulling your toes back toward your nose. Think about making your foot toned on the side of your leg. And then maybe a little shift of your sitting bones back and broad. Good. Press your fingertips down, lift your ribs up high, and say to yourself, self, I kind of look like the tree pose I was just in. Oh, yeah. So now reaching right hand across to the outside of your left thigh, take a really big inhale and lift up really high. From this place, you can stay right here, or you could work your hand down the outside of your leg as far as you need to go, coming into a little bit of a fold. Take a full breath. As you inhale, let yourself expand. As you exhale, maybe you deepen, or maybe you say, nah, and come back a little ways, okay? Wherever that is for you today is where you're meant to be. One more big breath. Root down, and as you inhale, rise all the way back up, and then switch legs. Shift your sitting bones, and then make your feet strong. Yeah. Good. Press down with your fingertips, lift your ribs up high, and then reach across with your left hand to the outside of your right leg. Press down again, find lots of lift, lots of expansion. Then as you work your hand down the outside of your leg, come to as deep a fold here as your body is ready for. That might be all the way to your foot, that might be somewhere in between. Wherever it is good, okay? So tell yourself that. Where I am is where I'm meant to be. Big breath. Good. Inhale, rise all the way back up, footprints to the floor, and make your way all the way down onto your back. And as you come to your back, set your footprints close to your sitting bones. Take your hands to your upper inner thighs, or your upper thighs rather, and give a push. As you push, you'll just feel your low back lift a little bit. With that, take a 3-part breath into your belly, your ribs, your chest. Back through your chest, ribs, belly. Good. And now set yourself up in whatever variation of a resting pose would feel good to you. So that might be with a bolster underneath your knees. It might be with a bolster underneath your hips. It might be just laying completely out on the ground. You could always take soles of feet together, knees open wide into a butterfly. Find where that is for you, and then we'll go through our body with a little bit of tension and release, okay? Shavasana, our final resting pose. Most people in the world know Shavasana because they're like, yes, that's why we do yoga. So Shavasana is considered to be one of the most important poses of our whole practice. It's your chance for your body to digest the work that you've done, okay? And so as we find this tense and release, we're going to work from our feet to our head and create the tension and create the release, giving our body permission to let go. So from your feet, press whatever part of your feet into the ground that's touching the ground. And then release the tension. Good. Into your calves. Tense up your calves. That might mean you tense up your feet too. And release the tension. Then into your thighs, your hamstrings, tense up your upper legs and release. Good. Then with your hips, press gently with your hips into the ground and release. Good. Then draw your belly toward your spine and release. Then think of your whole rib cage and press your rib cage into the ground or whatever you're laying on and release. Then notice your shoulders all the way out through your arms and press shoulders, arms, backs of hands into the ground and release. Now gently press the back of your head into the ground and release. Now notice your eyes behind your eyelids and tighten up your eyes. Squint and soften. Now notice your jaw, facial muscles, and tighten up your jaw. Clench your teeth and then release. Take a few moments here with your whole body settling. Begin to take a deeper breath. Begin to gently add movement into your fingers, into your toes. As you're ready to, you're going to make your way over to your side. You might need to push aside a prop. And as you roll over to your side, take a moment to being close to the ground for a full breath. Let your lower body be heavy. Use your hands to press into the ground to bring your torso back up to your seat. Drawing hands together at heart center, eyes open or closed, your choice. Take a full breath, honoring yourself for this time right here, right now, tuning in. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.